The Khmer Rouge swiftly dismantled military bases, arresting and executing officers and soldiers. Key ministers met a similar fate. In the heart of Phnom Penh, along National Roads 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the Khmer Rouge forced people to evacuate. Families were separated, and there was no time to gather belongings. Even patients lying in hospital beds, including women in labor, were expelled within hours. The once bustling city fell eerily silent as its residents congregated along the five-lane resilience and suffering of its people. May the memory of those days serve as a reminder of humanity's capacity for both cruelty and endurance.
Introduction. Distinguished visitors, welcome to this moving display. I have set out on a mission to see things as they really are, through the lens of Vipassana meditation, which teaches us that all experiences, good or terrible, begin from within. I've been hiding the terrible fact that I killed my own mother for 49 years, and I have to face it today. Although redemption necessitates recognition, there is an incalculable obligation given to a mother, the source of life. Let's investigate the portrayed story of that tragic day when the Khmer Rouge took control of Phnom Penh together. This show encourages reflection, empathy, and recovery. I appreciate your presence at this crucial juncture. Chapter 1. The Morning That Changed Everything. On April 17, 1975, the Earth experienced an irrevocable change as the sun rose. We gathered together in a crudely constructed bunker, a precarious haven from the never-ending mayhem of war. However, destiny had a harsh hand. A stray shrapnel fragment, akin to a cunning messenger, discovered its target. When my mother went to the kitchen for breakfast, it penetrated her gut. That was when innocence was lost, and sorrow became a permanent part of our lives. Chapter 2. Desperate Measures. We carried my mother's frail frame through the dangerous alleys of Phnom Penh, haste coursing through our veins. Our forlorn procession was joined by sympathetic strangers and neighbors, their faces carved with compassion. Ahead loomed Calmette Hospital, a ray of hope. But as we walked through its doors, hope faltered. The hospital was overburdened and ill-prepared to save lives. In addition, my mother's obesity presented a barrier to prompt intervention. Chapter 3. The Weight of Guilt. We faced our helplessness behind the emergency ward's sterile walls. The room was filled with numerous wounds, both serious and minor, each one bearing witness to the savagery of the battle. However, my mother's illness resisted a quick fix. Her agony was evident in every wrinkle on her face as she lay there, too fat to undergo the required operation. We were covered with a fog of regret that we were unable to remove. Chapter 4. The March of Fate. The city stirred outside. The Khmer Rouge March began, an unrelenting wave of power and ideology. At 9 in the morning, it moved eastward along Tep Phan Street, eschewing the once active Borei Kala, which is now only a spectral remnant of its past glory. The city of athletes, which was previously teeming with activity during the 1966 Ganifo, the November and December athletics games held in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, was now a witness to our battle. Chapter 5. The Tricycle Ride to Hope. We had to make a decision, a risky one. The call of Calmette Hospital prompted us to hop on a tricycle. As the wheels turned, my mother's last gasps were carried. The streets became indistinct, a tumultuous mosaic of life and death. Despite the discordant beat of the city's pulse, we held on to optimism. Chapter 6. The Cold Floor of the ICU. There were no beds left. There were so many hurting people in the ICU. The doctors and nurses, exhausted but determined, told us to place my mother down on the chilly ground. Her body lay on the harsh tiles where it had once held life. We apologized in whispers, our voices lost in the sterile atmosphere. Our features were painted by desperation, a picture of love and powerlessness. Chapter 7. The Gift of Blood. As a last gesture of dedication, each of us came forward one by one. We each drew half a liter of blood from our veins. A joint sacrifice, an effort to support my mother, to make up for the debt we were never able to completely pay off. Tears and thankfulness mixed with grief infused the red flow. Chapter 8. Farewell and Forgiveness. We paid tribute to the last of our mother's blood drops as the sun set. We apologized in whispers, pleading with the universe to pardon us. Her life's work and sacrifice weighed heavily on us, and we promised to preserve her memory at that holy moment. Chapter 9. The Crossroads. The Khmer Rouge men were standing firm at the exit, giving explicit orders to continue north and follow the designated route. However, our hearts objected. With shaking voices, we begged in desperation. South, we begged. Take us south, far from the oppressive shadows. Our destiny rested on the fork in the road, deciding between obedience and disobedience. Chapter 10. Thirst in the City of Contradictions. The stretch of Manavong Street in front of us was a contradiction in itself. Our hunger drew us away from the forced northerly flow and toward the other direction. Our dry throats pleaded for a break, for a taste of life. The city spoke its secrets to us as we ran, the pulse of survival, the echoes of suffering. Chapter 11. Seeking Refuge at Sve Dankum. Out of the tumult, the Sve Dankum Pagoda appeared as a haven. Weary and barefoot, we entered. The monk looked up at us, his eyes wise and worn. We made a straightforward plea for food and drink, water. We tasted more than just water as we drank, his hands caressing the bowl. It was compassion, optimism, and the assurance of perseverance. Chapter 12. The Basement's Revelation. In our calm house, shadows hung across the walls. With sad looks on our faces, we went down to the basement, a place of survival and secrets. There, amid clothing and food piles, was where things actually got real. Abrupt and haphazard, departure approached. Fear and resolve fought for control of our hearts. What waited outside these walls? Could we break free from history's irresistible pull? Epilogue. Echoes of departure. A silence of mourning fell upon us. We bid our final farewells to the house that served as both a haven and a prison. Memories of laughter, sadness, and whispered dreams were stored within its walls. We ventured into the unknown barefoot, surrounded by those we cared about. The past's ghosts followed us, pushing us onward. A slender flame in a world gone insane. The possibility of a fresh start beckoned. Finding peace in shadows, our spirits bear the scars left by the savagery of war. Still, we continued. I pay tribute to my mother and the many others who have passed away during my quiet times of introspection. In the muck, resilience blossoms like a lotus. In the shadows we are comforted. Even while our trip was painful, it also serves as evidence of the enduring power of love. So we walk, unshod, but unbroken. About the co-authors. The late painter Sve Kin, 1933 to 2008. Known as the Picasso of Cambodia's modern art world, Sve Kin tirelessly captured daily life. His masterpiece, Painted Stories, Life of a Cambodian Family from 1941 to the present, immortalized their shared journey. Through art, they whispered truths, their bond unbreakable. Sve Sanak. His name's Sve Sanak, 78 years old. The ghosts of war whisper, but so does love, the love for a mother lost, for a nation reborn. In quiet moments, he finds peace. Shadows and light dance, a delicate balance. His journey continues, a survivor, a witness, and a beacon of hope. Often seen riding bicycle, pedaled through villages, a harbinger of hope. His mission, to educate and entertain rural children about virtual reality. In dusty streets, he wove tales of possibility, bridging past and future. The bicycle became his vessel, symbol of resilience and transformation.